And so early on, this gave rise to what we affectionately call the good idea fairy. And sometimes she would appear via late night emails, or other times she would appear during a silent pause in a meeting. But she was always around and seemed to be more present more and more frequently. And at first, it was great to have these kind of good ideas. I think any startup needs to have that kind of mentality early on. It's like ready, fire, aim. Like you got to go, go, go. And it helped us to press on. But eventually, she started to become kind of toxic. And if you haven't guessed, like you mentioned, the good idea fairy was me. And I think these ideas were well, sometimes in this early stage, they could be distracting. It was what helped us to understand our niche in this market. We tested all sorts of things. Like, should we have a consignment model, or should we have a marketplace format, or should we hire a sales force to go to people's homes, or should we try jewelry? Like, all these things were the result of that good idea fairy. And again, it was critical early on to have that. But as you move into this next chapter, which is like the last 3 years of our business, where we've now nailed down our business model. So like in 2017, that's when we really just nailed this business model down. We knew what worked, and more importantly, we now knew what didn't work. We were growing at 70% year over year now, and that's what we've been able to do the last 3 years. Yet the good idea fairy still poked her head into meetings and occasionally a late night email. And while, like I said, she was needed in the early years, now that we're in this mature chapter, it actually became a detriment to our success. And here's why. It's because when you're acting on impulse, it takes away from core strategy. And every ounce of effort that isn't committed to a startup's core strategy can, at least we witness, it can cause burnout. And one of the best examples and illustrations of this was Jason Allen, who's our Chief Revenue Officer. He's just critical to our business and critical to me personally. He told me, he said, look, Hamilton, if you're driving the bus and you make a pretty severe turn, you don't really feel the turns as much, but the people in the back of the bus are getting car sick. And that's what ends up happening with these constant pivots, these good idea fairy moments. And so we had then and still have now, I think, the most committed and hardworking team you can imagine. These guys and gals, they just bleed Crown and Caliber. And there's nothing wrong with ideation, not at all, but it's got to be done in a restricted way at this mature phase, because otherwise, even no matter how great the team, like you've got the best team I've ever worked with, but it can cause confusion, it can cause burnout, it can cause ambiguity, like, are we winning or are we not? And we were doing 70% year over year growth, and we didn't even stop to celebrate because it's like there was always another mountain to climb. And so we needed to grow into processes and systems. There's a great quote I heard about how we needed at that point to go from being a pirate ship to being a Navy fleet. And we had to work just as hard, if not harder. We had to maintain that same spirit of scrappiness, but we had to become more disciplined and use processes and systems. And that's how a Navy fleet will absolutely destroy a pirate ship all day.